unboxing and upgrading a Magic the Gathering theme booster. Hey everyone, it's vmcampos, Magic fan. Welcome to another unboxing / upgrading video. Are you playing the latest and greatest set of Magic at the moment? I'm gonna unbox this Dungeons & Dragons Adventures in the Forgotten Realms theme booster and show you how to upgrade. What's that you say? You're saying that this is not the latest set anymore? That there's this brand new set, Innistrad or something? And that I'm old school by opening something that is so passé? You might be right. But never fear, what I'm about to talk about here will still apply to any theme booster that appears from now until forever, or that is until they radically change these things. So yes, I'm opening up the last set's theme booster, but the concepts that I will show you here of upgrading these things will still apply. So just imagine that these are the brand new cards, but you'll get the idea. So theme boosters have been a new part of Magic recently in the last few years, in the last few sets. Basically, you get 35 cards with a guaranteed at least one rare or mythic rare, although I have gotten a couple of rares a couple of times, although that's more rare. And you basically just add lands and you get a full 60 card deck. These come in a variety of themes. This is the dungeon theme, and most commonly we've also got the red theme, the black theme, whatever. It's a nearly complete deck. You just add 25 lands. And this is very affordable. I think I got this for like $6.99 at Target. Obviously get these at your local game stores and comic shops. That wasn't quite convenient for me at that moment. I was at Target. I was already buying hot dogs and ice cream, so I said, okay, I'll also buy some Magic cards. And I wish, okay, even for like $1 more, I wish they would just already include the lands in here, because these things are semi-random. And if you just included the lands, you have already a deck to play. Imagine getting new Magic players into this. They buy this for $7. It's a complete 60 card deck. Or what about even just making it a 40 card deck, randomly assorted with the proper number of lands and rares and all of that, one rare of course. And at a 40 card or 60 card deck with an affordable, reasonable price, we can get so many more people into Magic. Would be amazing. And one more thing, I wish these came with an Arena game code. We've had Arena for years now. Some people were using the beta since 2017. Some cool kids like me were using it since 2018. And I'm no mathematician, but it's been a while since 2018. And I'm still surprised that they're not putting Arena game codes in every product that they sell. I bet the random number generator is very complicated for them to use. So what's this video about? I'm going to unbox it, I'm going to show you what pulls I happen to get on this, and then I'm going to show you how to upgrade it to make the deck even better. I'm going to do this on Arena. I'm going to load up these cards in Arena and show you how I would upgrade the deck. And once again, the concepts apply no matter which of the theme boosters you have. There's some tenets of Magic that everyone could follow to improve. So let's get on with it. You need to open these up from the bottom. The cards are actually at the bottom. If you try to open it at the top, you will have a bad time. You want to go for the bottom. And there you go, reach around for the bottom and you get good stuff. So we've got the deck in here. I'm going to open this up, see what we've got, and see how we can then upgrade it to make it better than ever. Alright, so the theme of this is dungeon crawling. So in theory, the cards that should be here are all focused on dungeons. Then we'll see how we can upgrade this to be even better. If you get one of the colors, the definition of the theme is a little bit less. It's just all black cards, all red cards, but I like getting the ones that are actually more themed. So in the newest set, you've got like Werewolf focused theme boosters. I would rather get those than just the color. So anyway, Planar Ally, it's a flyer. Every time it attacks, it ventures. Cloister Gargoyle, as soon as it enters, it ventures, plus it's got a big blocker. It's not a defender, it's not a wall, so it can attack. If somehow we equip it, this is going to do some damage. So people often forget that this can attack. It's just 0-4 until you equip it or whatever. Keen-eared Sentry, you have hexproof. Each opponent cannot venture into the dungeon. So this is anti-venture for the opponent. This is probably one of the ones I'm going to cut right away because, okay, giving myself hexproof is nice, but I really want to focus on turbo venture, so this might be in the maybe pile. So we're going with black-white venture, it looks like. No, we've got a little bit of every color. Here's another pro tip. I'll probably just cut this down to 2 colors. Triple color venture, in theory, lets you venture more often, but it's going to be a trap. You don't want to go through those traps in your dungeon. Fate's Reversal, 2 mana sorcery, return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard, and then Venture. Fine, return one of these, do it again, plus Venture. Ooh, I love this one. Precipitous Drop, 3 mana, give a creature -2/-2, and Venture. Eventually, when you complete a dungeon, give the creature -5/-5. Beautiful. You find a Cursed Idol. This is the green sorcery. Choose one. Either destroy the artifact, destroy the enchantment, or create a treasure. And Venture. That's pretty cool, but we'll see about if you want to do black-white Venture, or white-green Venture, or black-green Venture. We'll see. Intrepid Outlander. It's a 2/3, it's got pack tactics. If you attack with a big old squad, then you venture. So you need a lot of creatures to do its thing. We'll see about that. Here's another one of the idols. That's good. So here's a pro tip. The more of the same card you have, the better, because you'll be more apt to actually draw the card. If we see any of these that are just 1-ofs, that's not so great. I want 4-ofs, the maximum you can have. Find the path. 3 mana, enchant a land, make the land give you double mana, and then venture. Now this would be useful if I'm trying to then summon some really big things, because it'll double your mana production and let you venture. So we'll see if that bears out for big things. So another one of the Find the Paths. Wandering Troubadour. I always love the art on this one. This is a Dragon Bard. 4 mana, 4/2. At the beginning of your end step, if you had a land enter the battlefield under your control, venture. So this is what they would call landfall in other sets. Every time you landfall in a land enters the battlefield under your control, venture. Pro tip, if you use something like Evolving Wilds, that'll let you venture twice. There's Evolving Wilds, so that'll trigger this Landfall Bard twice. They really want you. Okay, now they're going to blue as well. Okay, this is going to be all over the place, every color. We're definitely going to pare it down. We don't need so many colors. Yes, it's fun to play lots of cards with many colors, but you need a lot of mana fixing. And it might be better to pare it down to 2 colors to be a more focused deck. Okay, in blue we have Secret Door, a single blue, it's got Defender, pay 5 mana, no need to tap, so as long as you've got 10 mana you can venture twice. 5 mana lets you venture once, right, blue. Chittering Skeletons, 4 mana, when this dies venture. Okay, it's a big old 4/3 blocker, when it dies then you venture. I kind of don't love that. It needs to rely on dying, so the opponent might just chump block with their 1/1, and they just blocked, they didn't lose life, and you didn't venture. This was probably going on the chopping block. You get 2 of them, amazing. There's another Fate's Reversal, return a creature and venture. I'll probably cut this one too. We don't need to do so much amazing graveyard recursion as you think. That's more reserved for Brawl or Commander, not a regular 60 card 1v1. Dungeon Crawler, 1 black mana, it's a 2/1, it comes in tapped. When you complete a dungeon, you may return this from your graveyard to your hand. Here's the amazing scenario. You complete dungeons and this keeps coming back over and over. This is a trap. You're not going to get this to happen as much as you think. Even if we're turbo adventuring, you're just getting a 2/1 that comes in tapped most of the time. I don't think this one's worth it too much. We got 1 of them. We'll see how many more we get. I do like getting more of these drops. Get in there. Zombie Ogre. Okay, it's 5 mana, 3/5. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died, if any creature died this turn, venture. If your opponent's creatures died, perhaps you dropped them, then you can venture, but this only happens on your turn. So I like a big old 3/5, but it is contingent on something dying. In theory, your 2/1 dies, taking out one of their creatures, then this triggers this, but that's too many moving parts, although I probably will keep this one. Yuan Tifang Blade, a 3 mana 2/2 with Death Touch, and then this deals combat damage, venture. No one's going to want to block that to sacrifice their big creature with your Death Touch creature, so that's going to be hitting a lot and you're going to be venturing a lot. I'm really leaning towards that black is going to be one of the big venture colors. Another one of these blades, another one of these Evolving Wilds to try to trigger the Troubadour. Only 1 Troubadour, so you need to have one of these out before the Evolving does anything. And I know Evolving Wilds is trying to fix all of your mana, but you don't need to fix your mana if you don't have so many colors to worry about. Although I do love that art. So another Intrepid Outlander, as long as you've got pack tactics, the venture happens. Here we have a colorless artifact, Spiked Pit Trap. Pay 1, it comes into play with Flash, so you can cast it on your opponent's turn. Pay 5 and a tap, sacrifice this, choose a target creature, then roll a d20, a 20-sided die. If you roll between 1 and 9, it deals 5 damage to the creature. Between 10 and 20, it deals 5 damage and you create a treasure token. Now, you have more of a chance of between 10 and 20, so that's nice. But this doesn't synergize with Venture. Yes, the flavor is that you go into a dungeon and there might be a trap. This is going to be a big contender for removal. Okay, there's another Troubadour to try to work with Evolving Wilds. Here's a third one of the Cursed Idol to deal with the opponent's artifacts, enchantments. or create a treasure for ramp to then venture. Mimic, this one's fun. 2 mana, it's an artifact treasure, tap it, sacrifice it, add 1 color of any mana, or pay 2 to make it come to life, and it becomes a 3/3. This one's gonna get cut. We don't need very fancy shenanigans about the mana fixing. We're gonna simplify the mana base. And we don't need to spend extra mana to activate this creature to become a 3/3. Just make a creature, don't just mana sink into it. There's another Outlander, so 3 of them in the deck. There's another Wilds, 3 of them. There's another Pit Trap. There's a Fate's Reversal again. 50 feet of rope, 1 mana, single colorless artifact. You tap this, and then a wall cannot block, so that's very flavorful. You pay 3 and a tap. Target creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. So the thing with that is they have to attack you first. They'll attack you with their 6/6, and you pay this, and then it doesn't untap. That's not worth it. And then repel down 4 mana and tap venture, but only do it on your turn. They really went safe by only letting you venture on your turn. This is probably going to be removed. It's way too much mana to let it venture. Yes, you can do it over and over, but it's a lot of mana. You should spend it on other things that affect the board more. There's another Death Touch Venturer, like that. There's another Death Touch Venturer, so 4 of them in the deck, nice. Oh, and then here we go, we've got the rare, which is very on topic, Dungeon Descent. It's a land. It comes in tapped, do not like. It gives you colorless mana, do not like. Then you pay 4 and a tap, and then a tap and untapped legendary creature you control, and then you venture. We haven't pulled any legendary creatures in this deck. If we don't pull any more legendary creatures, this is going to get removed, because this is worthless without a legendary creature. And even if we get one, it's just going to be 1. You can only do it once per turn. And you're going to tap your legendary creature and it can't do its thing. So this is a rare, but it's a really bad venture. I really think the rope is better than the land, because here it doesn't need more stipulations except for the 4 and tap. This is 4 and tap your untapped legendary. Yeah, it's a land instead of an artifact that you pay for, but it comes in tapped and it doesn't give you any color mana. So this one's not long for this world. And then we got a treasure. Ooh, okay, we got 2 rares. See that? Sometimes we get 2 rares in one of these packs. And this one's pretty cool. It's also a land, but it's an artifact land. It comes in untapped and it gives you 1 colorless. And then later you pay XX, tap, sacrifice, you make X treasures. This is a cool card. It doesn't fit in this deck. It's not synergizing with Venture as much as it could. Plus you need to do math, and no one likes math, especially if you're playing this card in paper. But what you need to do is pay XX. So let's say you want to make 5 treasure tokens. What's the math you need to do there? Quick, tell me. That's right, no one knows how to do the math. So think about it this way, you pay 1, so you pay 1 and 1, tap, you make 1 treasure, you sacrifice this land, worthless. If you wanted to make 5 treasures, you need to pay 10 mana and sacrifice this. You just spent 10 mana to make 5 mana. Is that worth it? No. And then we've got the cards to remind you about venturing, so... And that was the unboxing of the Dungeon Theme Booster. There's going to be some cuts, some keeps, some maybes. I'm going to switch over to Arena and continue the build. And once again, these concepts will work for any theme booster, not just this particular set. Let's go to Arena. Alright, so I switched over to Arena and let's go look at the deck upgrade. Alright, so first of all, let me tell you my 4 tips for upgrading this or any theme booster. This applies to everything. Number 1, do you have a goal? Set a goal for what you want the deck to do. If this is about dungeoneering, then every card in the deck should focus on dungeoneering. Number 2, simplify your mana base. This one again was 4 colors and we were trying to fix it with Evolving Wilds and all of that. Simplify it to just go to 2 colors, especially as a beginner, and you'll go pretty far. Number 3, have as many of a card as possible, up to 4. The more you have of a card, the more likely you are to draw it when you need it. Tip number 4, removal, removal, removal. You're going to need more removal than you think. Even though you want your deck to do cool stuff, your opponent's deck is also going to do cool stuff, so you need to remove their cool stuff so that you can do cool stuff. Capiche? And tip number 5, have a sideboard. Get used to playing best of 3 matches. Best of 1 is an artificial format where the arena shuffler really messes with the decks and also who you get matched up with. If you play best of 3, you have a sideboard so you can swap in or swap out the right cards versus the right opponent. Those 5 tips will apply to every single type of theme deck whenever you do the upgrades. Let's look at specifically what I did with this deck. Alright, so here's the deck. You can see that most of them are 4 ofs. I've got 12 lands in total. I kept the Intrepid Outlander. I kept 4 of the Yuan-Ti Fangblade, 4 of the Clattering Skeletons, Wandering Troubadour. So it's a 4/2. It triggers on Sword of Landfall. Now, what I said earlier about Evolving Wilds, it actually doesn't cause things to happen twice, so scratch what I said before. After making the upgrade and playing with the deck a little bit, I confirmed that, notice, at the beginning of your end step. So it's only going to work on your turn. You're not going to be able to venture on the opponent's turn. Whoops. And you're not going to be able to do this twice within Evolving Wilds. Whoops, reading the card explains the card. So just plain old lands will work one time. Now the great news is that even if this is your 4th land drop when you summon this creature, it'll still count. It keeps track of that. Even if you play the land first, then the Troubadour, it'll still trigger at the end of your turn. So that's cool. 4 of the Zombie Ogres, it's a 3/5. Now remember, on your end step, so this doesn't count if creatures die on the opponent's turn. Be aware of that. On your turn, if creatures died, then venture. Got 4 of the You Find a Cursed Idol. This has been working very well, either to smash it, lift the curse, or steal its eyes. Making treasure to fix your mana and venturing has been really useful, and oftentimes what I do is go into the Lost Mine of Fandelver, because I'm able to scry and see what's coming next. I'm able to create a token, I'm able to drain them, and then draw cards. This is the one I often go through in this Turbo Dungeon deck. When I want to finish off the opponent, if I'm ahead on life, I go through Tomb of Annihilation because it just drains them more and more and more, and then I get a big old scary 4/4. And if things are working really well for you, Dungeon of the Mad Mage is really fun. You get a lot of scry, a lot of card draws, you make skeletons, it's really fun. And then this other card that I kept 4 of, Find a Path. Now be careful here, this only makes the land produce 2 green, it doesn't stack. You can't put 2 of these on one land and suddenly gain 4 mana out of a land. It's a replacement effect. No matter how many you put on the land, it only happens one time. I kept the Precipitous Drops, 4 of these. So here's the extra card that I added that wasn't in the deck. Poison the Cup, 3 mana, destroy a creature. You can foretell it. Pay 2 during your turn, any 2 generic mana, to tuck this away in the Foretell Exile Zone. The opponent won't know what you've saved over there. And then on a subsequent turn, not the same turn, but the next turns, instant for only 2 mana instead of 3. And you get the Foretell to see the future 2 turns ahead. That's the extra card I've added. It's an uncommon. Shouldn't be too hard to add 3 of them. Now wait a minute, you said I should have 4 of cards as much as possible? Yes, but here I also wanted to add 1 of Acererak the Archlich. This is a mythic rare, 5/5, 3 mana zombie wizard. This is going back to my tip number 1 of having a goal. The goal is to venture as much as possible. Everything in this deck ventures. And one more extra thing that ventures, this mythic rare zombie wizard. When it enters the battlefield, this is a huge wall of text, but basically when it enters the battlefield, pick a dungeon and venture through it. If you haven't completed the Tomb of Annihilation, this bounces back to your hand to cast over and over. You could be venturing through the Mad Mage or Panhandler dungeon over and over and over as many times as you want. But once you complete Tomb of Annihilation, he stops venturing, you get a 4/4 Black God Horror, plus an extra ability when this attacks, make more zombies. So I love this card, I've got 1 of these. If you have the mythic rare wild cards to burn, put more of these to guarantee you see this card more often. But I think 1 is enough, and you get a lot of adventuring going on. So the lands are pretty simple, just like tip number 2. I've added more removal, tip number 4. I've got 4 ofs as much as possible, tip number 3. And oh, a sideboard. Here's a sideboard here because you want to play best of 3 as much as possible. That is a full range of magic. Instead of just a one and done flip of the coin about who wins, here we have something more meaningful. Up to 3 games versus the opponent where it really matters. And the point of the sideboard is to put in cards here that'll help you deal with problems that the opponent has. Such as, they're dealing with a lot of flyers, alright, we got Plummet, destroy target creature with flying. All those amazing angels that are running around in standard, plummet them for 2 mana, you're done. Let's say the opponent is dealing with a lot of graveyard shenanigans. In the sideboard I've got Go Blank, which exiles all of their graveyard so they can't bring stuff back with flashback and the like. and also you get to have them discard 2 cards and exile all of that, plus amazing Wiley Beckert art. I love her style. Let's say the opponent is playing a lot of Planeswalkers, how about Feed the Serpent? Exile target creature or Planeswalker, 4 mana instant, we are done. Get out of here. Renin 7. Alright, got a couple of board wipes. Let's say the opponent is dealing with a lot of tokens. Shadow's Verdict will help take care of that. Exile all creatures and Planeswalkers with mana value of 3 or less from the battlefield and all of them from the graveyard. Guess what? Tokens have a mana cost of 0. 0 is less than 3. Exile all of those amazing tokens that they created for 5 mana. Sphere of Annihilation is similar to that, although you have to pay X amount of mana to get this to work. This is an artifact. Black plus X. This enters with X void counters at the beginning of your upkeep, so you cast this on this turn and the next turn this kicks off. Exile this, and all creatures and Planeswalkers with mana value of less than or equal to the number of void counters, and from the graveyard as well. So this will hit more creatures than Shadow's Verdict. You have to pump in more mana into it, but it's going to be really useful if you really need it. And then, if you absolutely positively have to get rid of just about anything, Introduction to Annihilation. Exile target non-land permanent to get rid of anything the opponent throws at you, for the cost of giving them 1 card. And one more little change if you want, you can remove the go blank 1 or 2 of them to add a Naturalize, if you feel your opponents are playing a lot of artifacts or enchantments. And that is the complete upgrade for the Theme Booster. Actually, wait a minute, one more thing. Don't forget to set a cool sleeve to really strike terror into the hearts of your opponents. How about an adorable kitten? There we go. Actually, one more thing. How about trigger your opponents by having a different artwork for every single one of your 12 and 12 lands? You're gonna completely confuse the opponent when you've got so many mismatched basics. That's the next level. That's tip number 6.5. But use that deadly tactic wisely. The only thing that I would really love here, we've got so many beautiful lands to choose from, and the thing that I would really like is if one day they deign to give us vintage frames in white border. Come on, give me some of those 4th edition basic lands. I would love that. Anyway, that is my upgrade for the Magic Arena Adventures in the Forgotten Realms Dungeon Theme Booster, with concepts that would apply to any theme booster that may appear in the future, such as the Innistrad Midnight Hunt ones. What did you think? Do you like this upgrade? Have you tried it out yourself? Have you been winning? Tell me all about it in the comments. Have you friended me on Arena yet? Find me as vmcampos pound 69225. Nice. Become my friend on Arena and say hi. I might still have a game code or 2 to give away, so why not become my buddy? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, comment, and share. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell to be alerted to everything that I do regarding magic, comic books, and anything that strikes my fancy. Did you check out my Nirvana video? They are one of my favorite bands of all time, and I made my own fan documentary about them. Hope you check it out. And if you like my content, consider pressing the join button right here in YouTube. At 99 cents, you'll unlock exclusive stuff, but better yet, you'll keep me funded and you'll keep me motivated to keep creating more content just for you at 99 cents a time. If you can't quite pledge at the moment, no worries. Simply enjoy my stuff and share it. I would really appreciate it. This has been vmcampos, and I will see you in the Tomb of Annihilation.